Peace. It's the Hood Mystic, representing www.hoodmystic.com, here with the energy reading for the week, and these are the daily mathematics. 1 + 1 = 3. We are dealing with a waning moon. We're also dealing with a Venus conjunct Jupiter, which occurs November 24th. We are bringing the cosmic into practical. Today we will be utilizing true sidereal astrology. In this way, we are able to speak to the present to understand the future through utilizing the instruments and procedure of the past. This message is for the true star children, so please relax, share, and comment if this message applies, and let us know what action that this talk inspired. Throughout this video, we will discuss the transits, then we will discuss the psychological implications, and what this is what the collective unconscious is implying through these transits. We will also tie in this information with the card of the week, the Marasa. So first and foremost, we still have the Sun in Libra and dealing with the continued effort to maintain the balance of heart and mind. So if you are triggered or if you are dealing with personal quote-unquote attacks, it's important to detach and not take things so personal, and through this process you are enacting a natural healing process. We also have 2 moon squares, and the moon deals with our flow, and the square is an actual disruption, so these moon squares have to be addressed this week. The idea with the actual placement in Cancer is having the idea to be rooted in wealth as a concept, so it will inspire wealthy actions in the present moment. By focusing on your present financial situation, even if it's positive, it could be a detriment because that positive energy that you're putting into your present financial situation is not allowing you to see forward. And if your financial situation were to decrease, that would intensify your mood or your flow. So the idea is to work on things that will benefit you in the future so your flow can really move. And if you have any blockages to this idea, then that is found in the second square, which is tied into home routines. So if you have a routine that is not particularly positive, moving into this week, moving into this waning moon, it's important to deal with these routines, switch it up, and enact flow into your subconscious and enliven your mood. There has to be physical things that you do to break up your routine, and this will enact and actually break up the blocks of your energy field, and so those actual blocks that you're feeling, they will easily be removed through action. You won't know until you attempt to break these negative cycles. So, in our psychological implications section, we're just going to go through some things and then deal with the card of the week. So, we're dealing with the idea of imagination, and this is our creative and active imagination. Understand that our creative and active imagination can be positive and or negative simultaneously, because an active imagination is there to reveal our internal representations, and how we deal with this is what we call will. And if we understand our imagination, our personal imagination, then we can understand the source of our divine perspective. What I mean by positive or negative is that we could fear something in the future and we're just simply imagining it, or we could really expect to receive a big check. That's imagination as well, but it's all into your perspective. Now we get to the root of imagination because we want to really activate and enlighten our psychic processes, and this is found through having an image and then imagining. So that image could be anything from a rose to a tree to a plant, something that is very, very close to you, and create a psychic image around that particular image. What does this rose do? Does this rose bring you prosperity? Does this rose bring you love? Because the more that you put energy into this image, it allows magical things to happen into your life. Because we're dealing with the imagination, we're also dealing with the fact that you form your own reality through your imagination. Have you ever been dreading a particular test or a particular conversation that you didn't want to have. And so the mere fact of you imagining this colors your whole entire day. And then from that, there are indirect experiences from your negative polarity, things such as sickness, loneliness. These things tend to materialize if you do not tap into your divine well of prosperity, happiness, joy, etc., and so forth. By tapping into this world through the modality of imagination, this allows you to make indirect effects on your world presently, right now. So, ultimately, what we're trying to say as a psychological implication is that the psychic world requires your imagination. Now, the block to this understanding is found in the shadow. Most do not understand what the shadow is, hence the word shadow, because it becomes to be something vague. But Carl Jung defined the shadow as found in the anima and the animus. Now, for women, you have to integrate your animus or your masculine side. For men, you have to integrate your anima, which is your feminine side. The unconscious reality is not the subconscious reality. The unconscious are the feminine qualities males have and the masculine qualities females have. This unconscious occurs in the dreams and also in our interactions with the opposite sex. The goal is to recognize the shadow because it's within you and realize the difference between your expectations and your actual reality. The anima and the animus is ultimately beyond our physical existence, but it is the soul. It is our inner force that animates our lives. So the anima and animus can be found in three ways: through relating, through spirit, and through our archetypes. The anima/animus naturally balance our sexuality based upon our one-sided personality. It also controls what we feel inside ourselves and is also what people feel from us. Our archetypes are the inspiration and motto that we attempt to live by. So, understanding this, how we relate to other people based upon our comfortability with our sexuality. If we are comfortable with it, then we are more prone to interact with the opposite sex more freely and more easily. If we are not sexually active or sexually balanced, then we tend to interact with the opposite sex in a lot more turmoil type of a feel. So it ultimately controls how we feel inside of ourselves. And then if we are comfortable with our sexuality, then other people feel that from us because our number one language is the language of vibrations. And to understand who you are in this thing we call life, you have to understand your archetype. So we're going to go through how women integrate the animus, and then we're going to also go through how men integrate the anima, and also what it looks like when the anima and the animus is displaced. So, as women, you integrate the animus when you are rational, logical, detached, and clear of thought, where the effort and application is there. You're able to stay centered. You're not so emotional. You're able to study and solve problems. When your animus is displaced, you feel like you, quote unquote, know it all. You find yourself bullying your family and people close to you. You find yourself controlling your family and people close to you. You find yourself being loud at inopportune times because you have the inability to relate to others effectively and meaningfully. The tantric solution to integrating your animus is through the modality of womb steams. If you are unfamiliar with the womb steam, please click the link in the description for altercreations.net. My wife specifically deals with womb steaming as a practice to clear your mind, and this is much different from the variety of yoni steams that have inundated the market. Now, for men, as you integrate the anima, this is how you do so: through self-love, by being creative, by establishing an inner life, by having empathy, by thinking beyond just your rational brain, trusting your feelings, making an effort to relate to women in a present, daily way. As men, your anima can be displaced if you're always seeking external affirmations. You want people to compliment you. You're not creative. You find yourself being moody, cranky, not relating, and isolating. You can also be seeking pain over pleasure, and this is called masochism. And if you're overall selfish, the tantric solution for integrating your anima is semen retention. Now, this does not mean retaining from sex or from particular sexual activities, but it does mean to do these activities without releasing sperm. And if you are able to do this, you are able to enact your anima and activate your psychic senses. Now, the solutions for all is in journaling your dreams. Another way that the shadow speaks to you is through your dreams, and this is how we really get to know our soul. Understanding your archetype and living through your archetype. On the screen, I will show you a list of archetypes for men, and then I'll show you a list of archetypes for women. Identify the archetype that best speaks to your soul and investigate that archetype and how it applies to you and some things that you may need to work on, some strengths, some weaknesses, etc. Also, for men and women, it is highly important throughout this week to make an effort to develop healthy relationships with the opposite sex. And maybe these relationships have nothing to do with sex, have nothing to do with business, but just the actual modality of talking to someone as an act in the opposite sex realm. This allows you to deal with your soul in a healthy, practical way. Now, the card of the week is found in the Marasa, the divine twins, and this represents the duality of the soul and the individual. In understanding the Marasa, you have to understand that everyone on the planet does not have the soul, and if they do have a soul, they're not working with it. So the ones that have a soul, or the ones that are engaging with their soul, they form a whole race completely different from those that don't. The goal of this card, the goal of this conversation is for you to acknowledge the differences without opposing and try to, with your best effort, seek to find a mutual benefit and live in that space of give and take. Psychically, this benefit is found through enriching the soul in order for the soul to enrich you. And this comes from listening, acting, and understanding. The Marasa consists of a male, female, and 3 cups. 2 cups are for offering, and 1 cup is for acknowledging that 1 + 1 = 3. So with that being said, I cannot thank you guys enough for supporting me. The links will be in the description if you decide to support this channel. If you feel this channel has given you something, we do accept donations and we appreciate every single one. So if I haven't said thank you yet, I'm saying thank you now. And if you haven't had a positive relationship with somebody of the opposite sex, seek to do that this week and utilize the power of the soul, utilize the power of the anima and the animus, and instead of it being a detriment, utilize it to be a power. I hope this message was well received. Please comment, share this video, like this video, let people know about the energy for the week. And if you need anything from me, please follow back and hit me up at www.hoodmystic.com. Also, my email is hoodmystic@gmail.com. Can't thank you guys enough, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.